Hi everyone, I'm Yukimi. Welcome back to my show, Conversations with a Piano Student. Today actually is a very special edition of the show, and I'm actually having conversations with a piano pro instead of a student. And today's guest speaker is a pianist, piano teacher like myself, and who has been the top salesperson in the East Coast of this very famous piano company called Steinway and Sons. So I know she is amazing. So I'm very honored to introduce you to my very good friend, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I'm a huge fan of you, Yukimi.
Oh my gosh.
Fabulous, wonderful instructor, and you're also lucky to be studying with her. So, but it's my pleasure to be here. Yeah, I'm broadcasting today from Steinway Hall. We're back.
Really? So you're actually in the showroom?
Yes. So I'm here in our beautiful Steinway SPIRIO room, which we'll talk more about later. But Steinway's new-ish location, we've been here since 2016. We're at 1133 Avenue of the Americas, so we're adjacent to Bryant Park. And
oh, that Bryant Park, the very famous for Spider-Man movie and everything. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great location. And yes, we're just right next to Bryant Park, so it's wonderful.
Oh, great. You know, actually, I've been there a few times, and the new showroom, and it's very, very beautiful. It's like a modern museum. Oh, the pianos are really placed in such a way that it's just, the displays are amazing. Such a state-of-the-art building.
Exactly. Yeah. Annabelle Seldorf was our architect who designed this beautiful space. Oh, wow. And did a beautiful job. But still holding on to the integrity of the historical part of Steinway and Sons. Even, you know, the floors of Steinway Hall, so you'll have to come visit. The floors of Steinway Hall, you know, they have the same woodblock ends. I'll tilt the computer so you could see here. So this floor is actually the same kind of floor, these woodblock ends is the same kind of design that's at the Steinway factory. And also at the old Steinway Hall, we were on 57th Street for 89 years. So it was a big deal for Steinway to move to this new, beautiful, modern location.
So they design in such a way that you guys are still carrying the legacy.
Exactly, wow. Exactly.
Amazing.
Even when you walk in, that beautiful chandelier that you might have seen, even if in passing, it's based on the Goldberg variations by Bach. So yeah.
I did not know that. I did not know.
There you go. Yeah, the artist is Spencer Finch. You could look him up. But he even had the musical legacy in mind when designing that beautiful art piece.
Really? Wow, I never knew that part. Thank you so much. It's already quite mind-blowing. Thanks. But I just want to tell you, everyone, that I've met Jennifer through our mutual, well, friend, more than a friend. He is a pianist and piano teacher, Eduardo Halim. I mean, I'm a big fan of my teacher. I don't know about you.
He's a mentor. He's an incredible human, and his playing totally portrays him as a person. So when you hear him play, he puts his whole soul into his playing. So yes, I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
Huge fan.
And a piano lesson just doesn't become piano lesson because I'm just like watching him play and hearing him playing. It's like, that's just right there. It's satisfactory. And Eduardo is actually the last student of the famous Vladimir Horowitz, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In fact, he was mentioned in one of the books written about Horowitz. Professor Halim was mentioned in that.
Really? His name is mentioned?
Yes. As one of the last students of Vladimir Horowitz, yes.
Wow, what a privilege to kind of know him. So wonderful. And so, which means you went to NYU for piano?
So yes, my education was, my master's was in piano performance at NYU. Before that, I was at Manhattan School of Music. So my undergrad, I spent also pre-college, I spent at Manhattan School of Music, and my first mentor was Jeffrey Cohen, who is also one of my favorite pianists. True inspiration, beautiful chamber music player. And then I went on to NYU, and I was so lucky to have found Dr. Halim, because his playing also continued to inspire me. So all my schooling was right here in New York City, so it was only natural that I would go straight from these wonderful institutions in New York to the wonderful and historic and incredible company of Steinway and Sons. And I literally went straight to Steinway right after college.
Wow, but amazing. But you found the place for your career, you know, because, hey, you're the top salesperson. I mean, who can beat that? Amazing. Yeah, but every time I see you and I visit the showroom, it's just such an inspirational experience for me. And so I really appreciate that you're here today. So you talked about, you know, we talked about Eduardo Halim and your teacher in Manhattan School, but who else is your favorite pianist? I know it's very hard to pick one. You can pick.
It is hard to pick. And I have to say, I mean, I have a few favorites, you know, just, I've always loved Stefan Bronfman. And, you know, just, and actually Eduardus is one of my favorite pianists. To be very honest with you, over the years, I've listened to an array of different pianists, and I like certain pianists for different, different compositions, different, you know, styles of music.
Right.
However, you know, before I was, while I was a pianist and growing up, I was also a clarinetist and a vocalist.
Really? Oh, I did not know.
So I'm actually drawn more to orchestral pieces, orchestral concerts, and also to chamber music. So I've always had a bit of a soft spot for that. So my favorite composers, I would say, for chamber music. So any of you out there, you know, piano can be sometimes a lonely instrument, to be very honest.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
So I really found my passion with chamber music, because even, you know, I love piano. Piano is my first love over clarinet. I loved playing in orchestras, but I love chamber music. Mendelssohn trios.
D minor.
And the C, I love both.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the Dvorak quintet, the Schumann quintet. So I encourage all of you pianists out there to take a listen to some chamber music, because it changed me as a pianist. To be able to play with other instrumentalists, playing in an orchestra, being a clarinetist, you know, playing with accompanists when I was singing. I found all of those different styles of music helped me mold me into the pianist that I am today. I'm more sensitive, I listen, you get so many more textures, because you have to use all of your senses when you're playing with other people. So I know that was kind of like a mixed answer, but I tend to lean more towards listening to orchestral and chamber music.
Really? Wow. Yeah, but I love those quintets and then trios that you mentioned. I actually listen to them a lot. Yeah, I love the Schumann. I love the Brahms trio as well. And yeah,
minor. Yes, the E major trio is gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's so much rep. So I'm sure you can be, after this, if anyone wants some links to some really fabulous pieces that are inspiring and so gorgeous to listen to.
Sure. Yeah. I will make sure to include that in the description of this video. Yeah. Right. Thank you. And so speaking of all these, do you ever meet anyone famous in the showroom?
Yes, all the time. Wow. Before COVID, yes. Yuzha Wang, I've met numerous amounts of times. She is so sweet, and she's fabulous. And we have a little treat from Yuzha in a little bit.
Cool.
Long, numerous times. He is also so kind and so generous with his time and energy, and he's such a wonderful Steinway advocate. I've met Billy Joel. I grew up in Long Island, so Billy Joel is like,
oh my God, he's the piano man. Come on.
he's fabulous. In fact, I was going to his concert that night, and he's a huge Steinway artist. We love Billy, and yeah, he was so fun. Wow. Harry Connick Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But yeah, it's really fun to meet celebrities and to help them, because Steinway's a global name. It's a small company. People think of Steinway and Sons and they think it's this huge global company. It is, but it's very small. It's boutique. So, but you know, it attracts these incredible musicians and artists, and we feel privileged to be able to help and service.
Wow, wonderful. You know, it's right. I think your piano, the Steinway pianos, are not only in the best quality in terms of sound and, you know, the made and everything, but also it's just so pretty to look at. There some of them are very, I know, it's just so fun. I know, that's why I love going to your showroom, because it's just the design itself, designs themselves are so inspirational to me.
Incredible.
I know, I know.
An entire year to make one piano.
It takes a year?
A year, a whole year. Now, of course, if you come into the showroom and you say, I want a Model M, you don't have to wait a year. We make certain amounts, so this way we have them allocated for people who come in. But if you come in and you want a custom Macassar ebony Model A, you know, piano, then we have to start that from scratch. So the building process begins right over the river in Long Island City, Queens, from start to finish, 12 months.
Oh my goodness. The fact that the Steinway piano is made in America and in Queens, New York City, is just amazing. I thought, you know, this Steinway was made from somewhere else, but it's like right there, because I live in Brooklyn. So it's like Queens, it's like subway right away. Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, a lot of people think that it's a European brand. And I think there's a reason why people think that, because the founders from Germany. So they came, you know, they emigrated here from Sassen, Germany. And they came here in the mid-1800s, and they founded Steinway and Sons. And their name was actually Steinweg, but they changed it to Steinway to sound more American.
Really? That's cool. Wow.
So at the turn of the century, the thing to do was not to make iPads, it was to make pianos. So piano was like the popular thing, of the popular method of entertainment at that time. So the Steinways came over. They were craftsmen, they were not musicians, and they set out to make the world's best piano. And that's what they did.
Wow. But how come, what's so special about the Steinway piano? Obviously the tone quality and everything, but do you have any like specific feature that you can introduce us?
Absolutely. Well, besides the hundreds of patents that the Steinways came out with, I mean, the modern day piano is what it is because of Steinway and Sons. A lot of people don't realize that. But there are so many components of the Steinway factory, of the Steinway piano made at the Steinway factory, that I could touch on. But I'll touch on a few. And I'll kind of shift over a little bit so you can see the
Jennifer,
piano.
What model is that?
So this piano is a Model M.
Okay.
This is the most popular baby grand piano that we sell here at Steinway. Okay. And one of the main features, one of the most, I think, special and most exciting things to watch at the Steinway factory is the bending of the rim. The rim, which is basically the shape of the piano, that curved, beautiful shape that's so elegant. This is the fortress of the instrument. It's multiple layers of hard rock maple. So a really strong and durable wood. But the cool thing and the most unique thing, because no other piano company does it, is that we bend the whole rim in one piece. It's not multiple presses. It's multiple layers, so it's very thin laminations of hard rock maple. And at first you can picture it as just one long plank, but then what they do is they wrap it around this jig that's in the shape of a piano, and they clamp it in, okay?
Right.
To ensure that it's really tight in that shape. It stays in that press for a full day, and then it comes out the shape of the piano, and then it goes into a conditioning room, anywhere from 3 to 5 months.
3 to 5 months to just dry out the glue or
right.
whatever?
So it's got a specific moisture control, because you have to remember, hard rock maple, it's a hard wood, right? So we have to manipulate the wood in certain ways to add moisture in certain times, take moisture away. So this way we can control it. So there's a lot of science that goes into this, okay? So that is the reason why our pianos last so long. It's the reason why the sound reverberates the way it does, the richness of the tone. So that's a very important element. That's one. The second thing is the Steinway soundboard. The soundboard is the soul of the piano. You can think of it as the speaker. You know, so the soundboard is made. Do you think it would be made of hardwood or softwood?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and you know, before I started working here, I didn't know either. But when you hear this, this will make sense. So the rim is hardwood. The soundboard is softwood. Now, there's a reason for that. The wood is a Sitka spruce. The spruce is soft, so that allows the sound to vibrate back and forth. If it was a hardwood, then the sound wouldn't vibrate as much. So the sound is able to transmit and bounce back and forth off of that rim. So we use Sitka spruce for the soundboard, where it's thicker in the middle and then tapers out on the outer. So this way it really bounces back. So you get that rich, full, resonant tone that you get from a Steinway piano, that bass, which is what the Steinway is known for. You know, so those are two important factors. And then of course the pin block, which is what keeps your piano tuned. That's also used from that hardwood, which is hard rock maple. So there's a few things. Action, you know, we listen to our artists. The artists want a responsive action. So we give them that. So we have Steinway accelerated action, which allows you to be able to play those repeated notes super quick, and also your trills, everything is nice and clean and responsive. So this way, you're speaking to the piano and it's speaking right back to you.
Right. No wonder. I mean, the Steinway, every time I try Steinway pianos, the action is just so sensitive and amazing. It's like if I command something, the piano is like with you.
Exactly.
You know, it's not stiff. It's not, they don't have their own will. It's almost like you are kind of becoming the one thing with the piano, right?
Yes.
That's amazing.
100%. And I have a Steinway. I love my Steinway. And what you just said was very true. I feel like over the years, I have a Steinway Model A. It's the 6'2", and I feel like it, when I play it, it truly knows me.
Wow.
It's giving me the sound that I need from it with everything I'm playing. You know? And it feels like home, you know? So they're truly incredible instruments. I can't speak enough about how much I love them, which is probably why I love selling them.
Yeah, well, you know, no wonder you're very passionate about your products, and no wonder you chose this career because of that, right? And you're very fortunate.
Yes, from it, yes.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for showing all that. So Steinway pianos has different kind of letters, right? Steinway, the smallest one is the Steinway S.
S, yes.
And then the one that you showed me is the M.
M. That's the medium baby grand. So we have 3 baby grands.
Okay.
S, which is what we call our city grand.
Okay. Yeah.
And the M, which is 5'7", which is what we call our studio grand. Okay, because a lot of music studios use them. And then the O is the largest baby grand. Okay, and I forget the name of what they called the O. The A they call the parlor grand. Those names, the parlor grand, these are a little bit older names that we used to use, but the city grand is kind of like a newer designated term for the Model S. Although the Model M, which is the medium baby grand at 5'7", is probably the most popular grand we sell in New York City. But yeah, so 3 baby grands, 5'1" to 5'10" in length. The width is the same with those 88 keys. And then we have the A, which is the piano I have. That's that's 6'2". That's considered to be a grand. Okay. And we have our 2 concert grands, the B and then the D. So 7 foot and then the 9 foot.
So the concert D is the concert piano where you see it in Carnegie Halls.
I could switch it around so you could see it.
That's the D.
This is the D.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So that is the 9 foot concert grand.
Wow. You know, so in the big concert hall, like my students would ask me, are they using microphone? Like, you know, piano seems so small, even though it's a concert D, but in the, you know, big concert halls like that, it looks smaller. But I said to them, they never use microphones. It's just, I know.
It is an orchestra of sound, the Model D. So that's the reason why when you see an orchestra playing with pianists, the piano that they're always playing is a D. Because the pianist can match up to that huge orchestra because the D, the overtones, the bass, the clarity of the treble, it has everything. You have access to all the colors.
Wow. Wow, great. My dream is one of these days, I want to buy a Steinway B. That's my dream piano. Actually, that's the dream piano for a lot of piano professionals, right?
That is what we call the pianist's piano. So the Model B is a great size because it's not too big, but it still has access to all those wonderful colors and tones that we love. And the scale design meaning the shape of the piano, the A, B, and D all have more of a square tail. It's not square, but it has a little bit more of a wider tail. So it allows you to have more, you know, a longer sustain, bigger sound, richer tone. So that's why I picked the A. I can't necessarily fit the B in my apartment, but the A fits perfectly at 6'2". So it's pretty fabulous. But yeah, the B, we have an entire selection room dedicated to the Model B because it's so popular.
I know, that's kind of, those are my babies, man. I love going in there. Just all the instruments, just they're breathing, you know? They are living creatures almost. Yeah.
They are. And also different. They're all so different.
Really, even among the same B, each one is different, you think?
100%, because they're all handcrafted. So, you know, one would say, why do you have so many bees in the same room? If it's the same model, they should all sound and feel the same. Generally, I mean, there is enough uniformity that they're not going to be completely different. But to a pianist, when you sit down and you play, you will feel things, you will hear things. It will respond to what you're playing, and maybe one piano feels more inclined for Mozart, or one feels more inclined that you want to play Brahms on. So there's definitely different pianos that have different personalities.
Wow. Yeah, makes sense. But that's wonderful. Thank you so much for showing all that. But then you have other lines from Steinway as well, correct?
Yes. So Steinway's been handcrafting piano since 1853. So it was a very big deal for Steinway to say, we're going to branch out and we're going to incorporate all of these incredible design features for the Steinway piano and put it into a second line. You might have heard of other manufactured pianos on the market, Yamaha, Kawai, Yongchang, and Steinway was kind of, in a marketing perspective, they were missing out on the whole price point, because Steinways are not cheap. They're the Rolls Royce of pianos, and the price point is sometimes a bit above a certain price point, you know, for people's needs. So we wanted to be able to offer a second brand that would encompass, would really have all of those wonderful features of the Steinway piano, but in a manufactured piano overseas. So we came out with the Boston piano, and I'll never forget my first experience with Boston. I was 15. And I didn't know about Boston at the time, but my friend, who's a fellow pianist, her parents bought her a 5'10", what we call GP, stands for Grand Piano, 178, which is 178 centimeters long, which is 5'10". And I remember seeing it in her home, and I said, "Boston, what's this?" And she said, "It's Steinway designed." And I sat down and played it, and I was shocked. And I was also very jealous.
Yeah.
I loved the piano. So I was a huge fan of Boston then. And fast forwarding down the road, I ended up buying my own Boston upright when I was at NYU. So before I even started at Steinway, I started out with a Boston upright. And it's great because Steinway has a lifetime trade-up promise. So I was able to take the full amount of what I got from my Boston, and now I have my Steinway. So it's fabulous. And my friend, by the way, she did the opposite. So I traded up to my Grand, still friends with her. She had her Boston Grand. She grew up, of course, with me. We're still friends. And she decided to trade in her Boston Grand for a Steinway upright because she was in the city and didn't have a lot of room. So all those years, she got the folk trade and she got her Steinway upright. So it's, so
it's a nice investment if you start out something, you know, Boston, and later on, if you want to upgrade to Steinway, upright or Grand, doesn't matter, then it's a full trade system that you have. Right.
Yeah, the Bostons are great. Definitely a piano you can grow into and not out of. So I highly recommend them if anyone ever is looking for something at a more moderate price point, but still like a workhorse instrument. But then, you know, they're manufactured, by the way, overseas in Indonesia and Japan. And then we came out with our ESSEX line, which are made in China. So it's our third price point, all wood. We do not use any plastic parts in the Boston ESSEX, and still the same Steinway design. But it's less expensive for us to make in China. So they're our third price point. They're an introductory line. They still are a part of the lifetime trade-up. And they're great pianos too. The Boston are better, but the ESSEX is certainly the best in that price point. So we have pianos of all price points and available to anybody who wants to get started with the right instrument. Absolutely.
Sure. Then you're going to be able to guide your clients through according to their needs and levels?
Really, it all depends. You know, whenever I speak with someone new about their piano interests, I first and foremost, I want them to feel comfortable. So, you know, I always ask, what price point do you feel comfortable with? Because at the end of the day, I don't want them to feel they need to jump into a Steinway. Steinways are the creme de la creme of pianos, but I truly believe in our Steinway design pianos too. And I cherry pick pianos based on what I would choose for my own students as a teacher. So we have pianos of all price points that are fabulous and that you could really enjoy building upon that investment over time. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much. And so I have several students who are just starting out, you know, their piano journey, and they're not really sure, you know, if they can commit to buying even ESSEX. So do you have any suggestion or recommendation for those folks?
Absolutely. We also have a really great and flexible rental program. So the rental program, it's our rent then own program. It's a 12-month program. So as teachers, Yukimi, you could probably also confirm this. Generally within that first year, 1 year to adults may seem like a short amount of time, but with kids, if they're sticking with it for a full year, that is generally a good sign. It means that they've gotten over what I like to call the hump.
Mm.
The hump meaning, you know, learning how to read comfortably, transitioning to repertoire that might be a little bit more fun and advanced to play, that they feel more comfortable reading and playing. So after that first year, you generally get a sense whether this investment is going to stick. So it's basically a 12-month program, 1% of the purchase price monthly. So you can, it's very affordable, really anywhere from all in probably $75
a month.
Yep.
Wow.
75 to 160 a month, depending upon which model you pick.
Right, right. Makes sense.
So, and that's for an upgrade. Grands are a little bit more, of course, but if you're looking to just get your foot in the door and rent an upgrade, we rent our Boston and Essex pianos. We don't rent Steinway because we only make $1,500 a year. That's it.
Wow.
Upgrades and grands. So we need every single one to sell. So we don't have enough. Yeah. But it's very flexible. And then at the end of the 12-month term, all the credit gets accrued and you put it right towards the purchase.
Really?
So, and if you don't choose to move forward with lessons after that, you can always return the piano.
Really? But who wants to return that? I mean, after a year of piano lesson, hopefully, you know, you have a perfect piano teacher for you.
Like you.
Oh my goodness. But then, you know, who wants to return that beautiful piano? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all those credits just go straight towards the purchase. And then remember, you have your lifetime trade up. So if you purchase that piano for $7,000 for argument's sake, and then in a few more years, you're really sticking with it and you want to get a nicer upgrade or a baby grant, you get every dime of that $7,000. So it just goes right towards the next purchase. That's called the Steinway Lifetime Trade-Up Promise.
That's cool. That is amazing. Very, very good company you are. Great. So I know we talked about, you know, the SPIRIO. You're going to show it to us. But before then, could you tell us maybe any events you have or from Steinway?
Yeah, we have a couple of things going on right now. So something that you might have mentioned to your students, Yukini, is our virtual competition. That's currently taking place. Well, the applications are open right now. So if you've been practicing and you want to participate, we have our regional competition that the applications close October 1st. So, you know, it's great because it's a little bit more relaxed, not necessarily the competition, but you get to record yourself in the comfort of your own home and your own instrument. So there's something a little bit less stressful.
Yeah.
I encourage you that if you have some repertoire ready, that's really great. So that's one thing we have going on.
Okay.
The other thing we have going on is we have a promotion with our Boston UP, that stands for upright, 118E. So 118 stands for the height of the piano. And that piano is probably the most popular upright that we sell here at Steinway. It's fabulous, and it's also quite affordable. It's normally priced at $12,500, and we just happen to have a little bit more of the inventory for this one finish. It's a black matte finish, and it's on sale right now for $10,800. Okay. So that's another promotion that we have going on. And then the last thing is our closed door back to school sale, and that takes place next week. So that starts the 17th, Thursday, and it goes through the 23rd. And that takes place right here at Steinway Hall. Just so you know, Yukimi, we're open, but we are closed to the public right now, just for the safety and comfort of everybody who's making an appointment to select here at Steinway. So we only schedule one appointment at a time. The doors are fully closed, and we let one appointment in at a time. So they come in, they have a full hour for their selection, they can feel comfortable, everything is sanitized for their safety. Right. So it's really great.
Great. So then so for those who are watching, they can just contact me through this video or my email Then if you guys are interested in piano competitions, if you want to find out more, I'll make sure to list all the information in the description. Then also, if you're interested in any of those back to school events, sales or whatnot, and make sure to email me or contact me through this video, then I'll make sure to give it to the right person, information to Jennifer. So, all right, then lastly, could you show us? Yes, I'm so excited. Yes. Okay.
So what I want to tell you first about the SPIRIO, this is our high resolution player piano. This piano, we started making the SPIRIO in 2014, okay? And it is our high resolution player piano. So the most important thing to remember is that this is first and foremost a Steinway. We do not change anything about it. So it is a 100% true Steinway. It is all handcrafted at our factory in Queens. And it is not a retrofit. SPIRIO is factory installed. So from the very beginning of production, it is meant to be Steinway SPIRIO. Okay? And the wonderful thing about it is the content. The content, it's all Steinway artists. So those artists come here, Steinway Hall, and they record right in our SPIRIO recording center, right here at Steinway Hall. So everything is done in-house. And basically it's access to these exclusive recordings, all done by Steinway artists. And every single month, new music gets added free of charge, indefinitely. So you have access to the world's best artists playing the best works of all the most incredible composers. So we have pop, jazz, classical, Christmas, global music, anything you could think of. So, and it's wonderful. It keeps getting updated, and there's the attention to detail and what it is able to capture. You really feel like you're listening to the artist in person at a concert. And these days, we're not going to be going to concerts in the next few months at least. So this is a nice alternative. So what I'm going to show you today is a favorite. We love Yuja. Yuja's fabulous.
Yuja Wang, yes.
And I wanted to play for you a really fun piece. So some of you may have heard the Rondo alla Turca by Mozart. Maybe even some of you have played it. So this might sound familiar.
That's right.
So this is a little bit of a fun, jazzier, I'm just going to put it on so you can experience it for yourself. So enjoy.
Wow, that just blew my mind. Thank you. So I just wanted to thank you so much for the viewers and listeners for joining with this special edition of the Conversation series. And I want to thank Jennifer for this wonderful presentation, interview. And if you have any questions, please leave us a comment or email us. And so stay tuned and be safe, and then keep working on your pieces and practice. All right, see you next time.